We see in the course of the history of medicine this constant intertwining between religion and medicine, healing and faith. Blood, because it's that which literally moves through our veins, is seen as having this life force that will captivate almost every culture in the world. And for the ancient Greeks, for the medieval world, blood had this symbolism. Around the year 400 BC, there developed, in one text in particular, the notion of the four humors. This was an attempt to explain why one is healthy or one is unhealthy. And the argument was that these four liquids, these humors, which are blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm, mix together, and when properly mixed, i.e. balanced, the body is healthy. Then, about 500 plus years later, you get the figure of Galen, who very selectively chose between the Hippocratic texts and decided, this one text that identifies these four humors is an authentic text of Hippocrates. The theory of the four humors develops into the notion that we can identify personality types, what become known as the temperaments. One who has a predominance of blood is by temperament sanguine, and therefore the most healthy. Those who have too much yellow bile are choleric, and as such are fiery and angry. Those who are associated with phlegm are, appropriately enough, phlegmatic, are considered kind of lazy or sluggish and fairly pessimistic. And those who are associated with black bile are what we refer to as melancholic. Within that system, the four humors become emblematic of personality traits, but also become elements of the body to be manipulated through diet, through bloodletting, and otherwise, in order to retain balance or restore balance and avoid imbalance, disorder, i.e. disease. Blood is seen as the most powerful, the most important, and the healthiest, while black bile is seen as its opposite, as a source of weakness, a source of emotional fragility, that is fear and anxiety, and a source of antisocial behavior, that is, you shun society. Each one of the arguments that the sanguine person is healthy, the melancholic is unhealthy, is inevitably built around inequality and arbitrary value. By that logic, there are certainly arguments that are made that certain groups are associated with specific temperaments, often with negative implications. Jews are associated with the humor of the black bile, and as such are associated with anxiety, with sadness, with the desire to be away from people. And this, of course, gets mapped into the social realities of, say, the 13th, 14th, or 15th centuries. Now, it gets more complicated when you discuss the relatively uncommon but occasional references to the idea that the Jewish male menstruates. According to this argument, the male Jew is seen to be colder than the ordinary male. And as a result of that coldness, the Jewish male needs to somehow remove fluid just as the woman does. And it's that becomes this marker of distinction between the Christian male body and the Jewish male body. But also, the most common argument on the theological level is that male Jewish menses occurs as a consequence of the crucifixion itself. The idea that his blood be on us and on our children is a connection of the blood of Christ with the Jewish people. The claim that some Christians make is that the only cure for Jewish male menses is the blood of Christ itself, i.e. to convert to Christianity and take up the Eucharist. What these Christian writers then argue is that Jews misinterpret that and begin to claim that any Christian blood will cure them of this condition. That then leads to the belief that, Jews kill Christian children in order to collect their blood and use it for this curative purpose.